Welcome to today's news wrap up. Let's dive right into the top stories making headlines today. The Trump administration has significantly reduced the workforce at the U.S. Institute of Peace, dismissing nearly half of its employees in efforts to cut government expenses and streamline federal operations. Severance packages and additional health benefits were offered to those affected, aiming to avoid legal disputes. Established in 1984, the Institute claims to prevent violent conflicts and broker peace internationally, though its functions have drawn comparisons to existing responsibilities of the Department of State. Recent actions include firing the agency's president and addressing legal challenges, questioning the administration's authority to make such decisions. Again, this is part of the executive state. Trump has every right to get rid of it. This restructuring reflects broader debates about government efficiency and the allocation of taxpayer resources. Rumors suggest that Netflix adaptation of The Chronicles of Narnia, one of my favorite stories, it was written by C.S. Lewis, who was a Christian, but the story will be directed by Greta Gerwig, may cast Meryl Streep as Aslan, sparking controversy. I mean, Aslan, a Christ-like figure, again, this is from a Christian's point of view. He wrote this, C.S. Lewis. So Aslan, a Christ-like figure, central to the story's Christian themes, contrasts sharply with Streep's past remarks and persona. Critics like myself argue this decision could undermine the essence of C.S. Lewis's work, which emphasizes spiritual and moral truths. Concerns also arise about potential rewrites that might alter character dynamics, particularly regarding Susan Pavesi's portrayal. Fans worry these changes could strip the series of its original depth and meaning, reducing it to a superficial interpretation. We all know that's what Hollywood does. Ridiculous. I want to watch it, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to be woke, it's going to be terrible, and they're not going to stick to the main story. Representative Jasmine Crockett argued against deporting undocumented individuals, claiming they contribute approximately $100 billion in taxes annually, including payment into Social Security, without benefiting from it. I don't know where she get those numbers from. I mean, if they're undocumented, if they're here illegally, how do you know that? However, questions arise about how taxes are paid without committing fraud, as Social Security members are typically issued to citizens or permanent residents. Critics have noted that undocumented individuals account for only a small portion of federal and Social Security contributions, while government spending on their health care and other benefits often exceeds these contributions. You know, they get free housing, they get free food, they get all these other things, free education. They're not counting any of those things. Jasmine Crockett didn't count any of those things. But the debate highlights broader issues on immigration policy, financial impact, and differing perspectives on addressing these challenges. Mind you, she's totally disregarding her own constituents. They continue to put illegal immigrants before their own people. This is why the Democrat Party is losing. At a Tesla dealership in Idaho, a confrontation occurred between anti-Musk protesters and pro-Trump counter-protesters. Amid the tensions, a 70-year-old man allegedly drove his car into a pro-Trump counter-protester who had just exited his truck adorned with pro-Trump flags. The victim sustained non-life-threatening injuries and drove himself to the hospital. Authorities arrested the suspect at his home, tracing his license plate, and charged him with felony aggravated battery. This incident follows a string of anti-Musk demonstrations which have occasionally escalated to violence, including arson and bomb threats targeting Tesla facilities. We all know that the leftists are behind that. And no Democrat thus far has come out to denounce what the Democrats are doing. It's despicable. But police emphasize the importance of peaceful protests and respecting First Amendment rights. We all know the left refused to respect other people's rights if they disagree with them. Virginia Giuffre, a prominent survivor and accuser in the Jeffrey Epstein case, has been critically injured in a traffic accident involving a school bus in Western Australia. Crazy, crazy. She has shared on social media that she is in kidney failure and has been told she may have only 4 days to live. Sad. Expressing a wish to see her children one last time. Poor lady. She's been through so much. Oh my gosh. Giuffre has accused influential figures like Prince Andrew and Les Wexner of abuse and played a key role in exposing Epstein's sex trafficking network, transforming herself into a central voice for his victims. Despite a settlement with Prince Andrew, the royal family cut ties with him as the accusations caused significant public controversy. Epstein's suicide in jail, was supposed suicide in jail, and Ghislaine Maxwell's subsequent conviction have kept the case in the public eye, with Giuffre's advocacy continuing to shed light on its broader implications. Her injuries and critical condition have drawn widespread attention and support from those familiar with her fight for justice. I'm gonna pray for her. Hopefully y'all keep her in y'all prayers as well. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a directive to reinstate sex-neutral standards for military combat roles. The order mandates that entry-level and ongoing physical fitness requirements for combat arms positions must be based solely on operational demands without any adjustments related to gender. I mean, if you have to be able to lift a certain amount of weight, because if you down in the field, you will hope, and someone have to drag you off, you will hope that person that's in the field with you be able to drag you off. It shouldn't make a standard just because you're a certain gender. The military department secretaries are tasked with developing detailed plans to differentiate combat arms roles from other positions and specifying heightened physical requirements for critical roles, such as ground combat and special operations. Hegseth emphasized the importance of maintaining high uniform standards to ensure mission success. This policy shift addresses concerns raised during Hegseth's confirmation hearing about the effectiveness of mixed-sex combat units. Research conducted under previous administrations have shown that all male units perform better in physical tasks and had lower injury rates compared to mixed-sex units. I mean, I didn't need a study to tell me that. It's common sense and it's biology. Yeti, a high-end cooler and cup manufacturer, recently declined a bulk order for customized mugs from the Claire Booth Luce Center for Conservative Women, citing a policy against political content. Are you serious? While the company fulfilled a similar order last year, representatives stated it was a mistake and should not have been approved. Critics have pointed out that Yeti partners with left-wing organizations, raising questions about its claims of political neutrality. The group that placed the order has since received offers from over 100 other companies willing to produce the mugs. Supporters of conservative organizations argue the incident highlights growing intolerance towards their values and emphasize the importance of defending free expression and ideological diversity in business practices. Lastly, Representative Jasmine Crockett has been accused of physically assaulting a journalist, Charles Downs, who questioned her about her remarks on Tesla and Elon Musk. During the confrontation, Crockett allegedly attempted to snatch Downs' phone, leaving visible scratches on his hand. The incident is being reviewed by the Capitol Police, who stated they referred the case to the U.S. Attorney Office for further investigation. I hope he filed assault charges I hope she get assault charges, because these Democrats need to be held accountable for what they're doing. They keep getting away with assaulting people and doing crazy stuff like this. However, discrepancies arose when the U.S. Attorney hinted that no referral had been made yet, sparking concerns about transparency. Interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin reaffirmed that no one is above the law and promised to determine whether charges are warranted following proper procedures. I've seen people get charged with assault for a lot less. Critics have raised questions about the handling of the case, comparing it to examples of perceived unequal law enforcement practices. We know if you're a Democrat, you can get away with stuff like this. Kind of like when what's his name, Bowman, pulled the fire alarm and didn't get any charges behind that. Which is a felony. You can't just go pulling fire alarms for no reason like that. But it's par for the course for Democrats. They get away with breaking laws like this. But y'all, but that's all for today's news wrap up. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.